Tour marketing tricks. Maybe that session title is a little misleading. There aren't really any tricks to getting word out about your artist's concerts or tour dates, but here are some things you should be thinking about each time you've got an act ready to hit the road. And I'll just kind of break them down by, topic, I guess. Social media ads, right? Budget permitting, your band should be running ads on all the social medias, all over the interwebs. And here's how to really effectively use Facebook and Instagram ads. And again, look, no magic potion here. These are just methods that I've successfully used, okay? So you're setting up the ad campaign. What I would do is target people, and a lot of this is common sense too, you'll see, but there's some things in here you might learn. Target people within 20 miles of the venue who like or follow your act on Facebook or Instagram, along with targeting people who like or follow about 5 similar sounding artists. I mean, again, it's common sense, right? Target people who like or follow the music venue and other music venues in that city. These are people who are more than likely going to go out to shows on a regular basis, so they might be more apt to come check your band out if they don't know them. Target people who like or follow the radio station in the city that plays the genre of music your act plays. So, I mean, all these are the folks who are, music fans. They like music that is either by your artist or that sounds like it's, a band that's like your artist. They go out to shows. These are the guys that and girls that you want to, get your ad in front of, right? So I recommend running your ads for the first 5 days that tickets are on sale, and then run them again the week leading into the show. Another tip for Facebook and for Instagram with the ads, try to use, sounds weird, but try to use a brightly colored photo in the ads so they catch people's eyes when they're scrolling. I mean, because look, honestly, nobody's out there hunting down news about your band. I mean, well, maybe they are, but you know what I mean? You got to catch people's eyes. And I've found, and I've compared too. I've run an ad, same ad with a brightly colored photo and a black and white, and the colored photo always gets the most clicks and engagements. Also, look, excuse me, everything you're doing on Facebook and Instagram, you can also do for the most part on Twitter. If your act, uses that service the most too. I like to run ads on all three, and just kind of split the budget, accordingly. I also really recommend running ads on Pandora as well. They're actually free. What you do is you just need to sign up for Pandora AMP. If you haven't already, what you do is go to amp.pandora.com, amp.pandora.com. These ads need to be voiced by the artist, but they play right before or after your artist's songs to listeners who live in the cities you target, right? So it's like, hey, free ads from Pandora, thank you. Another thing, I guess, if you've got a bigger than normal budget, and, normal is relative, I guess, too. But what I'll say is that consider having bands in town do an email blast to the people who follow your band on that service. Hopefully you're using it. It's pretty solid, and I'll explain why in a bit. But I think Bands in Town has a minimum spend there of $150, which is kind of pricey, honestly. In fact, I've got a call into them about maybe offering some more affordable options. I'll keep you posted on whether that changes. But they do send direct emails to people who follow your band on Bands in Town. So you don't have to worry about the algorithm is going to prevent people from seeing it. No, they're sending emails to all the people that follow you there, which is kind of cool. Also kind of pricey, ads on Spotify. Minimum spend there is $250, but the good thing is that you can spread that $250 out over a period of time. And if you want to get fancy, maybe your artist is super savvy and they've got a home studio and they can make a really cool sounding ad. You can create a commercial that sounds something like you'd hear on a terrestrial radio station. It doesn't just have to be like, hi, we're the shitheads, we're playing a show at your, whatever. You can get as creative as you want. Pandora, it needs to be really basic, voiced by the artist. Spotify will let you kind of do whatever you want. If your band doesn't have any dough at all for these ads, not to worry. It's definitely worth hitting up the buyer or the show promoter because they've always got a budget for advertising. I mean, you see it in the deals that they present, right? I mean, so instead of having them put that money towards, photocopies of lame flyers that are just going to sit on the bar in the venue and never get looked at, have them shift that money over to cover the costs of your really hyper-targeted social media ad buys, right? Something else that might seem like common sense, but you'd be surprised, is make sure you're getting these shows listed. Okay, what I mean is be sure and list all the shows on all the concert listing services and apps. I mentioned Bands in Town before, but Songkick, right? Songkick.com. They've got about, I think they've got like 15 million people using it to track shows by their favorite artists, right? And if you list your shows here, they're also going to show up on your band's Spotify page. They're going to show up on Pandora, Shazam, SoundCloud, Deezer, Bandcamp, and a bunch of others. And it's free. Songkick.com. Be using it. Eventful.com is a biggie too. They've got 25 million users, and it's also free to add events to. Now, Eventful is more. It isn't just concerts. It lists other events in towns, state fairs and that kind of crap. But still, it's owned by Entercom. So a lot of U.S. radio stations are going to direct listeners to Eventful for concert listings. Then that's what they're going to have on their radio station websites as well. Again, Bands in Town, free to list shows, and you can link your artist's Facebook page and official website with decent looking widgets too. So I think it's an essential tool to use. And of course, obviously, be sure and have either you're doing it, unfortunately, or maybe somebody in the band, you're creating Facebook events for all these shows. Speaking of Facebook, think about creating a new Facebook page banner, across the top of the page with the dates listed on it once the dates have been announced, because it looks cool. And, as people go and visit the site or the page rather, they'll be reminded, oh yeah, they're coming to town soon. All important stuff. Here's some other stuff. Get posters to the venues. If you're not printing up a bunch of posters, not a big deal. You can use a service, and these guys, they're not paying me to say this yet, but there's a great service called getbandposters.com. And they'll help you design the poster. They do individual posters, and they send them directly to the venue for you. I think they charge like $15 to print and mail out 5 posters. So if you're only got a couple of shows coming up, you don't want to do a whole big run of posters, boom, getbandposters.com is your place. If you need a really fancy tour poster designed, honestly, like people kind of turn their noses up at this, but I use it all the time. I would use a service called Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and for like $5, you can have something pretty amazing done if you search around for a decent artist. I'll talk more in the future about Fiverr.com. I use it for a lot of stuff, and I've gotten pretty much every tour poster that I've ever had made in the past 5 or 6 years done through artists that I found there for $5. All right, what you also need to do is activate the super fans, okay? If you're playing a show in City X, do some outreach on Facebook or Twitter, or even if you've got your email list broken up according to cities, even better. But what you do is you go on Facebook and say, hey, anyone in City X want to help me hang flyers or posters for my upcoming show? There's a free pair of tickets in it for you. Email me at this email address, and I'll send you the flyer and some details. Or you could do like, City X, what's your favorite local indie record shop? And when a couple of people respond, hit them up directly and say, hey, listen, if you go over there and hang a couple of flyers in the store, I'll put you on the band's guest list for the show that night. And in your dialogue with this, what I've learned is that just to kind of like ensure that they actually go and hang the flyers, be sure and say something like, hey, do us a favor and take some photos of the flyers once they're hung up so I can give it to our manager. This way he's cool with us putting you on the guest list, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? This way you've got a little proof that they went out and actually hung them. What else? Again, Fiverr. Listen, if you're having a hard time getting hold of fans in certain cities willing to help, this works if you're touring through a major city or like a college town. Chances are there's a college student on Fiverr.com offering up flyer hanging services for $5. I've used it. It works. It may seem silly, really, but definitely try it. Couple more things. Get on that media list. Basically what I mean is most venue bookers and buyers have a local media list. It's a list of local press, radio, blogs, TV. Get that from them. They're going to be happy to send it to you. You just got to ask for it. And they never think to offer it. So always be like, hey, look, can we get that media list that you guys have? I know you have it. And look, do some outreach on your own, right? Like, hooray, DIY tour press. You can also try and find the local radio stations in the cities you're touring through that play your genre of music, obviously. Search their website, see if they have a local or a new music show, and reach out to the DJs that host that show. Send them music. If you've got a budget, say, hey, we'd love to, run some ads about our upcoming show. They love that stuff too. Another thing that's important here is staying on top of the other acts on the bill. Okay, if you've got an opener, or if there are a few opening acts, keep an eye on how much they're promoting, because some polite outreach to their management, saying, hey, just wanted to get this poster or Facebook over to you, Facebook banner over to you in case you need to promote the upcoming show. It'll help. Like, just kind of passive aggressively be like, hey, you haven't mentioned anything. Help us, or hey, we noticed you haven't mentioned anything about the upcoming show on any of your social media. Let me know if there's anything we can do to help you with that stuff, from this end. Sometimes bands that are openers who aren't getting paid much, maybe they're not getting paid anything, they'll have a tendency to just kind of sit back and try to play only in front of just your artist's fans. Make sure that doesn't happen. Be in communication with the other artists, with the other managers, so that everybody's promoting at the same time. All right, hopefully those are some tour marketing tricks that will help you. Good luck. Good luck.